Well, GE in the legal spotlight this morning. 3 ex-GE bankers are being indicted for their alleged role in rigging bids. The men were members of a GE unit that allegedly paid kickbacks to state and local officials in order to win government deals. They're being charged with fraud and conspiracy. Separately, GE is paying more than $23 million to settle with the SEC over charges it bribed the Iraqi government for contracts. The Securities and Exchange Commission charged GE with making illegal payments of about $3.5 million to the Iraqi Health Ministry as well as the Iraqi Oil Ministry to win awards through the UN's Oil for Food program. Well, for more on what all of this really means for General Electric, let's bring in Bloomberg Businessweek senior editor Diane Brady. And Diane, bribery, illegal payoffs, it sounds like a great novel. We're talking about General Electric. What's going on here?
Well, I mean, let's start by saying it's relatively small potatoes because we are talking about a company that has $160 billion in sales. But this also is the second time in a year that they've had press-worthy, SEC settlements for accounting, now for this. I think it's an issue of culture that people are starting to raise. Now, much of this took place, obviously, when in units that GE didn't own at the time. So there is some sense there that it wasn't completely culpable, but they didn't have the internal controls, and I think people are starting to say, what's going on?
And that's the big question. I mean, does this pose problems, significant problems for Jeff Immelt, the CEO?
I think it's just another thing that people are looking at. Obviously, they had a banner earnings season last week, and I think the stock did not respond that much until they raised the dividend. So there's not a lot that gets people excited about this company right now except the dividend. And one of the big issues that people have looked at and we've looked at is the leadership and the culture and what's going on at GE and how are they going to get out of this slump.
I mean, can they get out of this slump? I mean, a lot of folks who own GE, Diane, you know this, are saying the stock has done nothing for such a long time.
Well, right now people look at it almost more as a bond than they do as a stock, so the dividend becomes all important. One of the big problems with GE is people don't understand the story. There's been a lot of pressure to perform. You see that in some of these actions, but I think the real question is, what are you buying into when you buy GE? If it's a barometer for the economy, that's not terribly exciting for a lot of people if you look at the economy going forward.
All right, we're going to leave it on that note. Hey, Diane, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bloomberg Businessweek's Diane Brady.